Jin in critical condition? This is the shocking reason why Jungkook panicked, shocking and full of questions. The news about BTS's Jin allegedly being in critical condition has left the public stunned. Even more surprising, Jungkook's reported panic instantly sparked serious speculation. What exactly happened behind this situation? And why was the news able to shake the hearts of fans and trigger global unease? The issue regarding Jin's condition began with the circulation of internal reports mentioning an emergency situation involving him. Jin, known for his calmness and well-maintained physical health, was suddenly said to be in an unstable state. The report did not specify exact details, but it was strong enough to ignite anxiety among fans. The panic shown by Jungkook seemed to serve as validation that this situation could not simply be dismissed. Jungkook, as the youngest member of BTS, is known to have a deep emotional bond with Jin. His panicked reaction made the public wonder, did he know something larger than just ordinary news? In the context of South Korea's entertainment industry, where every piece of information is usually filtered tightly, spontaneous emotional expressions often serve as a clue that there may be truth hidden behind the scenes. Thus, the critical question arose. What was the real reason Jungkook lost control? Several entertainment analysts assessed that Jungkook's panic was not merely a form of concern, but a reaction to something he was unable to control. Suspicions regarding Jin's health condition became the main focus. Considering the tight schedules, immense pressure, and global responsibilities carried by BTS, the possibility that health could become a vulnerable point is not something to be overlooked. This situation was further reinforced by the fact that there was no official clarification immediately released to calm the public, allowing speculation to continue developing. It is important to note that Jin had only recently returned from his military service, a period filled with physical and mental pressure. The adaptation from a military environment to the international entertainment stage is not a simple process. Health experts have even mentioned that such transitions often leave long-term impacts, both physically and psychologically. If it is true that Jin is currently in a critical phase, then such pressure could indeed be a highly relevant triggering factor in the global entertainment world. Especially for BTS with millions of fans, news about a member's health is no small issue. Jungkook's panic became a symbol that what Jin was experiencing carried significant weight. It is no wonder that international media immediately spotlighted this dynamic, considering BTS is not merely a music group, but a cultural representation of Korea on the world stage. On the other hand, there is also speculation that Jungkook's panic was not solely because of Jin's health, but due to the immense pressure burdening the entire team. In many cases, a critical situation for one member often creates a domino effect that impacts the group as a whole. BTS is known as a highly solid unit, so the vulnerability of one member directly affects the emotional dynamics of the entire team. Jungkook, who is known to be protective, seemed unable to hide his anxiety in front of the public. Public reactions varied. Most armies expressed deep concern, while others demanded an official clarification from the agency. The absence of detailed information only created frustration, as the public felt trapped between circulating rumors and the emotional signs shown by the members themselves. Many argued that the agency needed to be more transparent, so as not to create mass panic that could in fact become dangerous. A sharper question then emerged. Is Jin's condition truly medically critical, or is the term critical being used in another context that was not immediately explained to the public? Some communication experts noted that such a term could lead to layered interpretations. However, regardless of its meaning, the fact that Jungkook panicked remains a clear indication that there was an urgent situation not to be underestimated. If Jin is indeed facing a deteriorating health condition, then this will become a heavy test not only for himself but also for the entire BTS and its fan base. In the history of the K-pop industry, idol health has often been a vulnerable point that eventually opens wider discussions about excessive pressure within Korea's entertainment system. Jungkook, with his emotional reaction, inadvertently opened that very discussion to the global public sphere. In conclusion, the issue regarding Jin's reportedly critical condition and Jungkook's panic is not merely gossip to be ignored. On the contrary, it reveals the fragile side of a global phenomenon called BTS. Behind the grand stage and dazzling lights lies the reality of health and emotion that is deeply human. Jungkook's reaction is a reflection of a younger brother's concern for his elder, as well as a reminder that even the biggest stars are not free from vulnerability. The lingering question in the public's mind now is, when will the real truth be revealed? And what is Jin's fate moving forward? The urgent question that must now be asked is, to what extent can the public trust the news stating Jin is in critical condition and Jungkook panicked? Does this information truly reflect the reality behind the stage? Or is it merely a narrative construct deliberately spread for sensational purposes? How can the public distinguish between truth, perception, and manipulation in the context of increasingly uncontrolled media? The sources spreading this issue did not come from a single official channel. Information about Jin's condition and Jungkook's reaction circulated widely on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and online forums that often lack clear verification mechanisms. Is it reasonable for the public to immediately trust narratives disseminated through such platforms without any official confirmation from relevant parties? Are we becoming victims of an information consumption pattern that is fast-paced yet shallow in depth? This phenomenon reveals a larger problem in the digital media ecosystem. On one hand, fans want constant updates about their idols, but on the other hand, the speed of information circulation often surpasses accuracy. Thus arises a fundamental question. Did Jungkook's panic truly occur in real context, or was it merely a fragment of emotional expression exaggerated by the public and media? If it truly happened, why was no official clarification immediately released to halt speculation? And if it did not happen, why was the media seemingly allowed to freely build a narrative that shook mass psychology? Readers must be invited to pause and reflect. Is it possible that the news about Jin was merely fabricated to attract media attention, spark interaction, or even increase the popularity of a particular issue amid stagnation in entertainment news? Is it not true that the modern entertainment world often uses controversy as a covert marketing strategy? Could it also be that this event is part of a larger scenario deliberately staged to maintain BTS's existence in the global landscape? However, on the other hand, we must not underestimate the possibility that there are indeed facts being hidden from the public. The Korean entertainment industry is known for its culture of covering up internal problems until they can no longer be contained. If it is true that Jin is in critical condition, does this reflect the agency's lack of transparency in protecting the health of its artists? And is Jungkook's panic merely the tip of the iceberg of the emotional pressure they are facing together? These questions are important not merely to satisfy curiosity, but to remind that the public as consumers of information also have a moral responsibility to remain critical. Are we swallowing whole a narrative crafted to control our emotions? Or are we ignoring real signals about the human vulnerability of idols behind their grand image? How should readers position themselves between these two poles? We must realize that in the digital information era, reality and illusion often coexist without clear boundaries. A short video clip can trigger global panic. A fragment of emotional expression can be interpreted as a grand narrative, and an online article can shape the perception of millions within minutes. So should the public not be more cautious in absorbing information, always asking, who is spreading it, what is their motive, and to what extent can its truth be verified? This reflection is not intended to belittle the concerns felt by fans, but rather to invite them to use critical reasoning. If Jin is indeed in critical condition, then concern must be directed toward forms of real and healthy support, not merely toward spreading mass panic. Conversely, if it turns out this news is fabricated, then the public must learn not to fall into shallow and easily manipulated information consumption patterns again. Ultimately, this issue opens the door to deeper philosophical questions. Do we truly care about Jin's health and well-being as a human being? Or do we only care about the emotional drama that fills the empty space of our entertainment consumption? Do we see Jungkook's panic as a sign of sincere brotherly love? Or are we turning it into a spectacle commodified for sensation? Readers must answer these questions honestly within their hearts. Thank you.